Well, has the old American social contract that included marriage, children, and that house with the white picket fence vanished for good? If so, then what does this disruption to household development ultimately mean for our economy? You know, a similar trend began in Japan almost a couple of decades ago, and it has had devastating impact on their economy, a negative impact. Here now to discuss, Jillian Melchior, the Wall Street Journal editorial page writer, David Webb, Fox News contributor, and Christopher Bedford, the Daily Caller editor-in-chief. Let me start with you, Jillian. In 1995, Japan's economy was $5.4 trillion. Last year, it was $4.9 trillion. I mean, no economy, major economy in the world has collapsed like this has collapsed. They've got the oldest population in the world, and it's really remarkable. And I think it all began with the so-called grass eaters, when young men stopped being interested in girls, started having small social circles, and playing video games all night.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that we should be concerned about in the United States. I think we have some social dynamics going on that could easily lead to that. We're certainly seeing women becoming disillusioned with the sexual revolution, feeling like they're not getting as much out of it. And then on the other hand, you have men on campus in particular concerned about the risks of engaging in sexual behavior. And then on top of that, you've got progressives talking about toxic masculinity, how things like strength, the character traits that we usually associate with men are bad and need to be curbed back. And I think that's, you know, these three things together are making it much more difficult for people to meet and to ultimately settle down and have kids.
And you know, there's an article that just is out this week in The Atlantic. The cover is pretty provocative about a sex recession, but there it is right there, the sex recession in this country. A really good article, and for me, it's the economic impact. Right. I've seen this already. We've seen it in Japan. Earlier this year, President Xi of China went to war with some of these video game makers, I think in an attempt to curb it from happening there.
Right. Look, society affects the economy, and if your society begins to change what is normal behavior that leads to development, males who advance as males, women who advance as women, women who marry older, have children older, has an effect economically. Men who wait to get into the world, to get into the competition. We talk about animal spirits in the markets. What about the animal competition in all of us that leads us to grow and achieve? And if we don't do that and get lost in technology, we don't live in the real world, we lose social interaction, we lose the drive, we lose that success and that feeling that comes from really advancing as people. Right. That has an effect on your economy. You have to want to be successful to find the tool or the methodology to be successful.
You know, Chris, last year, U.S. fertility rates dropped to the lowest level in 30 years. Again, this is worrisome stuff. And, you know, a lot of people saying, well, young adults have college debt, they have all these other issues. And I understand that, but I also worry about the long-term ramifications.
The fertility rate should be seriously worrisome, and people don't know whether that's because of birth control being put into the water supply just by people throwing out their leftover pills, or by consumption of plastic, which has risen to a great level. Also, what's really worrisome about that...
But the Atlantic is saying it's because of a lack of, that just no sex drive.
Well, we've been taken over by our sexual liberation. Sex has been devalued. If you look at the opening of The Atlantic, it's listing all these things that devalued sex, like the unlimited consumption of whatever kind of pornography you would like for free. Conservatives have completely lost that revolution, the pornography revolution, and because of that, you can basically get any kind of satisfaction you like alone by yourself. Relationships take work, and what's being sold by the consumer culture is instant gratification that goes against that. Without that, you're going to have a rising levels of people who are involuntarily celibate, and you're also having people who have put more time, men and women, into their careers early. They put that before family. They're getting older, and work only gets harder. Relationships only get harder as you get older. These kind of things are going to lead to huge social chaos, and it's already here.
Yeah. Well, there's an element of fear here as well, Charles, because if people fear the interaction in college, even in a high school environment, and you think about the negatives that have come out of the Me Too movement, which is what happens when women start wondering why guys aren't asking them out. When you start losing that interaction, it affects your life, it affects your development. It's not just about sex, but it is one of our basic things in life. We eat and we reproduce as human beings, but that then affects our society.
Right. And I do think, women with this have been sold something false, too. They've been told throughout the sexual revolution, you be as promiscuous as you want. This is never going to have consequences. And I think, you can look at the New Yorker, New York Times, they have the Modern Love column, and one woman saying, like, I dated this guy. He was so fastidious about consent the entire time, but he didn't ask my consent to ghost on me. He wasn't willing to commit. And I think that that's something that a lot of women are discovering, that sexual liberation hasn't led to contentment and just stability.
Do you think that there could be a change soon, or it's just this sort of the millennial mindset that if there is household formation, it's going to come a lot later in life, and if that is indeed the case, there will be some economic consequences for America. I think this, coupled with our educational crisis, are two things we don't talk enough about.
I'm actually pretty optimistic for millennials. You do see them pushing some of these choices back, but the ones I talk to at least are pushing it back because they want stability. They're trying to get their ducks in order, and I think that they're taking relationships seriously. They're seeing...
Late bloomers?
Yeah, I think they're late bloomers.
Yeah, well, you know what? Get off Tinder and learn how to get tender and speak to someone, man or woman, you'll advance. And don't wait too late.
There's no doubt.
The mortality rate brings it down.
We got to fix that. There's no doubt about it. Guys, we could talk about this a lot, and we will again in the future. Jillian, David, and Chris, thank you all very much.